Well then, it's very disappointing that we lose the Carabao Cup final, but I believe it's a time to be honest and reflect upon it in the right way. And if you've got to be critical, you have to be critical, and the players and the manager have to be held accountable. And the only positive is we're at least 9 points clear in a title, because if this was the only hope we had for silverware, then I think the pressure would be too much. But look, I think Arteta, ultimately, he got it wrong. He got it wrong. I mean, the lineup had to be David Raya. You have to play your best keeper. I didn't do a preview for that game because I was extremely, I had a lot on my plate, so I couldn't squeeze that in, unfortunately. But David Raya would have been my keeper. The rest of the team would have took care of itself. Obviously, Eze was injured, so you have to bring Havertz in. Timber's injured. You have to bring Ben White in, and so on and so forth. But for me, I think that was a horrible performance. I don't think any player in that team other than Saliba, Zubimendi for a bit, can keep their head held high today and throughout the week. I don't want to see any of these players going to the international break, teams, whatever. I know that Brazil are playing in the USA. Gabriel Magalhaes, you've got to pull out of the squad, mate. You've got a title to win. You ain't going to be fucking have to play 2 friendly games like you remember what happened last time, don't you? But look, that's a conversation for another day. It's not another day. Maybe tomorrow, because they may be packing their bags and leaving soon. But anyway, the final. Kepa starts. And you know what? I'm not going to criticise it too much. Because obviously, he's been there through the journey. Won us in the penalty shootout with Palace. But ultimately, it's a final. David Raya should be playing. You should be playing your best team no matter what. It's a trophy to be won. We've not won one for 6 years, and we've not won one from nearly 10 years in front of our own fans. Let's not forget the FA Cup was in the COVID year. But look, what I want to say is, first 20 minutes, we opened them up. We should have scored. Havertz should be putting that away. But other than that, the first 20 minutes, soon as Hincapié gets that yellow card, I don't believe he even touched him if you look at it and slow it down. I don't know why the player's gone down like that, like he's been shot, or he's been lasered, or he's been sniped on his foot. It's cheating, man. It's cheating. If he didn't get touched, it's cheating, but you won't see that sort of coverage anywhere. I'm not going to go on about it, but he should never have been a yellow card. Bernardo Silva, on the other hand, 1 tackle, nothing. 2 tackle, nothing. 3 tackle, nothing. 4 tackles, still no yellow card. This is the shit we have to put up with in terms of refereeing decisions. Soon as Hincapié got injured, he couldn't get tight. He couldn't, make a challenge. He couldn't, block Semenyo. And Semenyo thought, you know what? I'm going to go for it now. And soon as he got in that yellow card, the game changed. It changed. And I thought, you know what? City are coming on to us a little bit here. And it was an even half. The first half, because we had the first 20, they had the next 20. And I thought, you know what, let's get into half time with Hincapié not getting a red card and keep it 0-0. I thought, right, Calafiori comes on now, guaranteed. It doesn't take a genius to work that out, because we're losing that battle on the left. Hincapié can't get forward enough because he's scared what's gonna happen on the counter attack, especially if he's got to pull in for a last second challenge. Then he could get a red card and he's fucked it up. So I don't blame Hincapié, because the referee got that wrong. And I believe Arteta should be protecting the players. So I thought, why has Calafiori not come on in the second half? I found that really confusing. It was puzzling. It really was. I thought it was a guaranteed decision. I think anyone could have made that decision. But nevertheless, I thought, right, yeah, Kepa has not had much to do in the first half. But as soon as Kepa started being, slowing the game down, didn't know where to pass the ball. Not just that, he then got the yellow card. Could possibly have been a red card if that was Michael Oliver and co. I thought, right, now's a good time for Arteta to make an excuse and bring Kepa and Hincapié off. David Raya comes in, Calafiori comes in. Nobody's on a yellow card. We've replaced Hincapié, who is at this moment in time a liability because of the yellow card, and so is Kepa, because, he's a little bit all over the place at the minute. He can't pick a pass out. I thought he had to. He had 20 minutes to take him off. after the 50th minute, 55th minute, whatever. I was screaming, saying, just take them both off now. Kepa can't say anything. He's on a yellow card. I know you tried playing him, and you did because of sentiment and this and that, the cup run he's had. As soon as he got that yellow card, it was the perfect excuse. Take him off, taking Nketiah off. David Raya comes on, Calafiori comes on. It's a different game. We've got 30 minutes to play. It's a completely different game. But I don't know why Arteta didn't see that. And he waited and waited. And then, look, we was under the cosh and Arteta just watched it. I don't see how a manager can do that. Watch his team getting battered. We couldn't even make 2 passes, mate. Not even 2. And Arteta just watched it all happen right in front of his eyes. And I was so confused. And then we concede. Deservedly so. City got the lead. It was a howler from Kepa. I don't know how he fumbles that. And then the second one also came from Nketiah's side. And then Arteta brings him off. And then he brings him off. It just reminds me of Anfield a few years ago when Zinchenko was getting rinsed. We were still 2-1 up at that time, I believe. Or 2-0. No, I think it was 2-1. And Salah was absolutely having a field day. I'm like, take him off. Just take him off. And then Salah or whoever gets an equaliser. And then he takes Zinchenko off. Little things like that make the difference. And Arteta, I'm afraid, he has made a lot of good decisions this season. But little things like that, little tinkers and tweaks, I don't know if he will ever get it right. Because if you can't get it right after 6 years, when will you ever? The players, embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing, that second half. You've got a final to be winning. What I also want to say as well is, you know what social media and all that shit is like here. The last building up to this final, I'm seeing every day there's a new interview out. One with Eze, one Declan Rice sat with Thierry Henry, one with Saka, and I can see the headlines like, it's time to win big trophies and this and that, blah, blah, blah. I didn't watch a single one of those interviews, I swear down. I thought, you know what, do the talking on the pitch. Why are you having this many interviews, putting more pressure on yourself, right before a cup final? This is what I'm talking about. This is why the other teams and fans take the piss out of us about mentality this, mentality that. Just keep it quiet. Just keep it quiet. Do the talking on the pitch. If they want an interview, say you can have one after the game. I don't get it, man. I don't really get it. It's like, you know, I don't know, mate. I don't know. What else? What kind of chances did we have other than those 3 in the first 5 minutes? We hit the bar with Jesus, but that was never going in. Calafiori had a good attempt. He had 2 attempts, actually, when he came on. I don't know why he didn't come on in that 45th minute straight after half-time. Arteta got it wrong. I don't think these players can show up, can actually turn up, and, you know, they've got it all to do now. That game against, who is it? Bournemouth, when we come back after the FA Cup game, is absolutely gigantic now. If we lose that or draw that and City beat Chelsea, and then we go to the Etihad, it could be 3 points. It could be 3 points with them having a game in hand. Listen, they've got it all to do now. It's going to bring pressure. The media are going to talk. They're going to talk because it's Arsenal. And you know what? Let them talk. Let them talk because we've given them and put them in that position to be talking. It's embarrassing. It is. I'm not going to, go in personally on the players. It's not fair. But to me, you didn't look like you wanted to win a final after the first 20 minutes. Saka, mate. I've been saying it since October and people have been giving me shit saying, am I feeling okay? Are you feeling okay now? What have I been saying about Saka since September, October? He's off the boil. I don't know what it is. Is it because it's a World Cup year and you're saving your ankles? You're saving your knees? Because you did that 4 years ago when it was Qatar. Don't think I've forgotten that. Same with Martinelli and that, pulling out of challenges and that. I remember it clearly. November or whatever it was because the World Cup was in December. Pulling out of challenges and that. But obviously we was on top of the league then anyway. But look, you could have won a trophy and lifted it as a captain today because you cannot be a sub-captain next season. It's got to be Rice or Gabriel. Saka doesn't offer us anything on the pitch anymore. He doesn't. And that's why Madueke's came in and he's on 300 grand a week. For what? For what? Put me out there. I can possibly do better than that. I'm not even joking, man. It's not just Saka, it's a lot of them. Gyökeres had a good fight in those first 20 minutes. And if we carried on playing like that, he would have scored maybe. Havertz, absolutely nothing. Ben White, didn't have his best game. Kepa, we know about him. Hincapié, you know what? I'm not going to say anything about him. As soon as he got that unfair yellow card, he couldn't give 100%. He was playing at 50%. Saliba, yes, good. Gabriel, just hoofing the ball up to nobody. Trossard, anonymous. Rice, anonymous. Zubimendi had a good first 20 minutes and then it's anonymous. I mean, sometimes I think, Thomas Partey, moving the ball from that defence to attack, he was one of the best at it. Zubimendi, obviously, it's been hard for him to come in and he's had a good start, but Arteta's played him too much. He has. He's not. Why has he bought Norgard? Norgard should have been playing a lot more games and Zubimendi could be more fresher. It's not great, man. We didn't have many chances. The stats will say we had 10 shots each and we had 4 on target. They had 2 and 2 goals. But fair play to City. They wanted to win that. And you know what? They smelt that blood after the first 20 minutes and thought, you know what? We're going for this. And then Nico O'Reilly, gets 2 headers, 2 goals as a defender. Why is he there? Why is he in our penalty box? Why? Because Saka and the rest of them are nowhere near his goalkeeper. Nowhere near his half. So he's like, you know what? I can take a chance. I can be the extra man. And you know what? He was the extra man. He got the 2 goals. And you know what? It meant a lot to Arsenal fans. And you know what? The criticism, whatever Arsenal fans have got to say, it's justified. You don't put a performance like that in a final. You do not do that. If you lost with a fight, then it's different. But you didn't even come and fight. It was nothing. It was diabolical. And you know what? I was prepared for this. And this is why I'm not absolutely screaming from the rooftops. I was prepared for both scenarios, whether we lose or whether we win. And unfortunately, it's a loss. We've got the Premier League to be fighting for. And I've said it all along. Just give me the Premier League. Anything extra is a bonus. We have to go for the Champions League now as well, though. FA Cup, we got Southampton. First game back. We lose that. It's not good because it just puts more pressure on the Bournemouth game. The Sporting Lisbon game, etc. Listen, it's all to play for, yeah, and that this league title now is not won. The confidence City will have from winning that is gigantic, but it shouldn't affect our season. It shouldn't. That's all I've got to say, man. That's all I've got to say. I'm not going to go in too hard because I think the players know exactly what sort of performance they put out there, and it's quite disastrous.